On May 19th, Singapore started rolling out its COVID-19 vaccination program to those under the age of 45. By the end of the year, every eligible citizen and resident will be able to get vaccinated. But these recent reports have made many of us question how effective the vaccines really are.
The patient had been fully vaccinated since early March, but he tested positive 3 days ago in routine testing.
The 11 additional cases are linked to the first case at Tan Tock Seng Hospital, a fully vaccinated nurse.
I'm getting my first shot in a few days, and I'm giving you an insight into my vaccination journey. I'll be keeping tabs on how the jabs affect me and finding out all you need to know about the efficacy of the vaccines. I'm here at the Buona Vista Community Club for the first dose of my COVID-19 vaccine. To be honest, I am very nervous because I've heard so much about the possible side effects. But I'm going to do this, so come along. Before my shot, I'm asked to declare any known allergies, if I'm on certain medications, and whether I've had a fever in the past 24 hours. I'll be getting a dose of the Moderna vaccine.
Are you ready?
Yep.
On a count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Very good.
It went in.
Yep. And we're done.
But it's not quite over yet. Immediately after the jab, I'm ushered to a waiting area where I'm told I'll have to be observed for half an hour in case of severe allergic reactions. That wasn't too bad. When the needle first went in, I have to say it was a little bit painful, but I am so glad that so far it's been less than 5 minutes. I don't have seemingly any severe reactions. But I do want to know what to expect, and I know that there's a doctor on site, so I'm going to try and speak to him. Hi, Doc.
Hey,
Can
hi.
we have a quick chat?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, what kind of symptoms are you monitoring for during this first half hour?
So for this 30 minutes, it has been recommended that we look for all the possible allergies that can happen after vaccination that can range from, the scattered rash, the occasional rash, swelling of the eyelids, and also the severe ones like breathlessness and shock that we call anaphylaxis.
Have you had to attend to anyone so far?
Well, for the severe allergic reactions, fortunately 0, no. But we do see the occasional rash and sometimes swelling of the eyelids or even lips.
So what causes allergic reactions? In both the Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna vaccines, one ingredient could be the main culprit, polyethylene glycol. It's a compound that helps to stabilize the vaccines. It's commonly used in drugs and cosmetics and has been known to trigger allergies in some people. So far, so good for those of us being held for observation. But we've been told to expect side effects like muscle aches, fever and fatigue even after we go home.
Okay, so I've got the appointment card for my second jab in 28 days. As of now, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. There was a bit of an achy feeling, but I still feel good. But I think I should take anything for granted. I'm going to head home and rest now.
So far, more than 1.2 million people here have been fully vaccinated. Vaccines work by giving your immune system a preview of a virus, so it can learn how to fight it before encountering it. There are a few ways to do this. The 2 vaccines approved for use in Singapore, developed by Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna, both use what's called mRNA technology. Here's how it works. The coronavirus has a spike protein on its surface, which enables it to enter our cells and infect us. mRNA vaccines carry instructions on how to make this protein, which is harmless without the attached virus. Once injected into our body, our cells start pumping out these proteins, triggering our immune system, which learns how to identify and eliminate these foreign invaders. Our immune system then stores the cells as part of its memory, which it can rapidly recall to fight off the virus if we are ever infected by it. With both the Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna vaccines offered in Singapore, I want to know if one is better than the other. So I've arranged to speak to Professor Wee Eng Yong, the co-developer of a COVID-19 vaccine that is currently undergoing clinical trials. My friends keep saying, which vaccine should I choose? What are the real differences between the two vaccines?
Essentially, there's not much difference. Efficacy of both vaccines is about the same. It's about 95%. The Pfizer vaccine is 2 doses with 21 days apart. The Moderna vaccine also requires 2 doses in 28 days apart. The main difference is that the dose of the two vaccines are different. So Pfizer is 30 micrograms, Moderna is 100 micrograms.
So I took the Moderna vaccine. Does that mean that it is 3 times more potent than the Pfizer vaccine?
No, it does not. The difference in the dose is a very practical issue because they had to make a guesswork as to where the sweet spot for the dose of the vaccine is going to be. Pfizer narrowed it down to 30, Moderna narrowed it down to 100. I think in reality, it's somewhere in between.
So what explains the gap between Pfizer and Moderna, the 21 days and the 28 days, and does it matter?
It doesn't matter. By and large, the rule of thumb is that about a month apart is about right. If you stretch it out a bit more, in terms of the effect of the vaccination, it actually could be even better because you're giving the immune system time to learn. The problem, though, is that people tend to forget to come back if you stretch it out.
What about side effects then? Does it mean that if it's a higher dosage, you are going to get more side effects?
It does look that way, at least in the phase 3 trial data, where especially on a second dose, the reaction to the side effects like tiredness, the rate of fever and all that appears to be more common in the Moderna vaccine compared to the Pfizer vaccine. But we cannot be sure that it's entirely due to dose.
What causes side effects to begin with?
It's our immune response to the vaccine. The side effects is in some way a good sign that your immune system is reacting to the vaccine, right? But for those who did not experience any side effects, the data is showing that you are still getting a good immune response.
For a couple of hours last night, I didn't feel anything that was unusual, so I thought I got lucky. And then 4 hours later, wham, the soreness set in the upper arm area near the injection site. It got uncomfortable enough that I lost some sleep in the middle of the night. But otherwise, this morning I was able to get up, go to work, no problem. My arm, I still can't lift something heavy, but other than that, no side effects. I'm not the only one experiencing some discomfort after the first dose.
It has been 12 hours since I got my first dose of Pfizer at 8:30 a.m. this morning. The left arm feels a little sore right here. It feels like after a heavy workout kind of muscle soreness. And in the afternoon, I felt a little tired, so I took a nap.
After my first dose, I experienced muscle aches on my left arm, chills and lethargy for about 2 days.
For the first dosage, 3 days, basically I had muscle ache, fever.
As of April, about 20% of the population had received the full dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. But still, community cases have been on the rise, and some of them are fully vaccinated. How effective are our vaccines?
Now what we're seeing are actually mutants which are quite different from the original strand.
I've discovered that the side effects many of us experience from the COVID-19 vaccine, such as body aches and fatigue, are actually normal immune system responses and therefore nothing to worry about. But some people say they experienced severe allergic reactions that landed them in the hospital. This man posted a video of his swollen palm, which he says lasted for 10 days after the vaccine, while this person claims to have broken out in hives for a week after the jab. Doctors told him it was likely an allergic reaction to the vaccine. As of April 18, there were 95 reports of suspected serious vaccine reactions out of the more than 2.2 million doses administered. That's a mere 0.004%. The reports include breathing difficulty, fast heart rate, and anaphylaxis, a rare and potentially life-threatening allergic reaction. So, getting vaccinated isn't totally risk-free, but thankfully, severe reactions do seem pretty rare. But there's been a recent resurgence of community cases.
The authorities are still encouraging people to be vaccinated despite an increase in number of vaccinated individuals getting infected.
And some of them had already been fully vaccinated.
Vaccination doesn't provide 100% protection.
To find out how effective the vaccines really are, I've arranged to speak to Dr. Leong Ho Nam. Dr. Leong has had hands-on experience managing several disease outbreaks, including the SARS outbreak in 2003. Okay, Dr. Leong, why are we still seeing people who get infected after they have been vaccinated?
Now what we're seeing are actually mutants which are quite different from the original strand. In fact, it's like the syllabus that has been changed. So now when I used to score 95 marks with this standard syllabus exams, I do worse off because it's a totally different mutant, it's a totally different syllabus. But even if we went back to the original strain, the efficacy was only 95%, which means while the 100 people there are, 5 of them will still end up with an illness, but we understand that to be mild.
What I'm hearing a lot is people around me saying that, you see, you get vaccinated, you still can get infected. So what is the point of getting vaccinated?
Vaccination changes a severe disease to a mild disease, and from mild disease to an asymptomatic disease. So our responsibility is not just about not falling sick with COVID-19, but it's also preventing the severe forms which require oxygen or requires intensive care. Because eventually, you don't want to destroy your hospital and your healthcare system.
How long will my protection last?
Overall, about 30% of us will have very long-lasting antibodies that will cope. And the other 70% won't have enough antibodies. It will fall with time or they never mount adequately. And in those cases, all the more, you need to remind the immune system by going for a booster vaccine.
When you say the 30% whose immunity or protection may last for a long time, what kind of time frame are we looking at?
We're talking about years at the least. Eventually, I suspect we will all have to do a blood test for antibody levels. When the antibody levels fall to a certain low level, we probably have to go for vaccination again.
Wow. How exactly do booster shots work?
Booster shots work by jolting the memory of the immune system. Antibody levels fall, but when you do a booster shot, you shoot the levels very, very high. In fact, Superman high. When that happens, you'll be able to fight the virus even if it was a mutant.
Are the booster shots interchangeable? Meaning if I start off with Moderna, I can take a Pfizer booster?
If you think about the science of vaccinology, you should be fine because you are stimulating the same protein again, the same spike protein. One good possible outcome is this. We may be able to find good matches of different vaccines that will even exceed what we'll be getting all along with the traditional 2 doses of the same vaccine.
With my second jab coming up, I want to make sure I'm as prepared as I can be. I've been getting a lot of advice, from exercising the day before to popping a painkiller before the shot to prevent side effects. I wonder if this is all true. This one is my mom's favorite piece of advice. Drink plenty of water after the injection. It will help. True or false? I've been learning about the efficacy of the COVID-19 vaccines, and it turns out the vaccines don't offer the same level of protection for everyone. My second jab is tomorrow, and I want to make sure that my immune system is in top shape. Now, I read somewhere that exercising the day before the injection is supposed to boost the effectiveness of the vaccine. And I've also heard and read about so many tips to manage the side effects. To help me separate fact from fiction is Dr. Seng Sian Cho, who provides medical support at some of the vaccine centres around Singapore.
Hi, Dr. Sir. Good to see you. Thanks for your time. Exercising the day before my jab will boost my immunity and the efficacy of the vaccine. True or false?
False. The main reason is because some people, when they do too much exercise, the following day, they may experience some discomfort from the strenuous exercise, and that actually makes the immune system even worse than usual.
I personally experienced quite a bit of soreness on my arm. I was told that if I moved my arm a lot, it actually helps. True or false?
That is actually true. Keeping the arm mobile helps to improve the blood circulation of the arm and prevents the joints from stiffening.
This one is my mom's favorite piece of advice. Drink plenty of water after the injection. It will help. True or false?
It is true and false.
Okay, apologies to Mummy.
Yeah.
Why?
We do advise a light snack and adequate hydration before the vaccine and adequate hydration after the vaccine. But sometimes overhydration may cause swelling, may cause a bloatedness. To some people who are not so mobile, it can even cause water retention. So we advise to just eat and drink as what one would normally do, not necessarily have to do in excess.
Alcohol can affect my immune response.
This question is a little bit complicated to answer. Chronic alcoholism definitely will affect one's immune system and it will dampen a person's immunity. But having a glass or two alcohol wouldn't affect a person's immunity or the vaccine's efficacy.
Will popping paracetamol before the jab help?
No, it wouldn't. The reason being is because we don't recommend taking medication without symptoms.
For those who really want to maximize the efficacy of the vaccine, is there anything we can do?
Yeah, regular exercise and balanced healthy diet, and most importantly is adequate sleep. That would be the best advice to anyone to boost the efficacy of the vaccine. Even just one night of good sleep the day before can really help to boost one's immunity.
Okay, this is it. Day of jab number 2. I got enough sleep. I had been exercising and eating normally, so I think I'm all good. I can't wait for it actually. I just want to get it over and done with.
Thank you.
It's finally time for my second jab, and I think I am as prepared as I'll ever be.
Hello.
Hey?
After the first jab, do you have any reaction?
So my arm was very, very sore. It lasted for about 2 days. There was no fever.
So if I reported any unusual symptoms that might indicate an allergy, like bad rashes or breathing difficulty, I would be stopped from taking my second jab. But I've been given the all clear.
You want to watch it great?
Yeah.
Breathe in, breathe in, breathe out. 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, maybe watching the needle go in wasn't such a good idea. Still, it hurts a little less the second time around.
Alright, ma'am, so vaccination is done. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your second vaccination.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. I'm counting down to my 30 minutes. And then I'm going to call home and tell the kids, Mama's fine.
It's been about 24 hours since my second injection. All day today, I had chills, body aches, and felt extremely lethargic. Right now, I feel like I've got a bit of my energy back, so hopefully I can be back to normal by tomorrow.
Now that I'm fully vaccinated, I want to know if there are things I can do now that I couldn't before.
It seems I can now skip pre-testing for events that require them, like weddings and performances. I might even be able to travel to certain countries soon without the need for quarantine.
But I wonder, at which point will we reach herd immunity? That is, enough people around us vaccinated and protected against COVID-19. And once we get there, will we get back some sense of normalcy to our lives?
For For some answers, I am dialing Professor Suli Young.
Thank you for talking to us again.
The former clinical director for the National Centre for Infectious Diseases. What is the magic number that we are looking at to achieve herd immunity?
Herd immunity will mean that those who are not vaccinated will still be indirectly protected because the people around them are vaccinated, so they act like a kind of shield, right? Initially, we felt that herd immunity can be reached if 70% of a population can be vaccinated. But with the new variants, they are more transmissible. I think many experts around the world think that it should be about 80%. But even then, I will have to caution you that herd immunity doesn't mean that the disease will go away or there will be no cases.
Prof, I think many of us are looking forward to the past, whereby we need not have social distancing, we can meet as many friends as we want, and we don't have to wear masks. Is that likely to happen?
That's like looking into the crystal ball. So we aren't really very sure. But personally, I don't see this happening for the next 3 to 4 years at least. If we achieve 80% vaccination of the population, the countries around us will still not be anywhere near that. So that means travel will still be limited for the large part.
My own experience with the COVID-19 vaccine was thankfully uneventful, but I've learned that getting vaccinated may not make you completely immune, but it does make you less likely to get severely ill or have symptoms should you get infected. Now, for the next few years, getting blood tests to monitor our antibody levels and getting booster jabs may become the norm even after we've been vaccinated. But it's the right thing to do to help protect those around us.